Seahawks fans, welcome back. Welcome to the 12 Talk podcast. I'm still a little hoarse and bewildered after what was an amazing night. We're world champions, Mitch. The Seahawks are the champions of the world.
Oh, I must have missed that.
My God. Yeah, I'm all hither and thither right now. We usually we have this whole set script for what we're going to do, but we're just going to wax lyrical. We've got to talk all about that watch party we had with the UK Seahawkers. We'll talk about the game, our feelings, emotions, why we're so hoarse, and yeah, we'll get to your comments as well because this is just what a day to do a pod. Let's hit the intro music and then let's get crack-a-lacking, shall we? Right back at it again. Oh, just like we've always been, mate. What a night. I mean, for obviously our American viewers, what a day, but for us, what a night, what an early morning, what a result, what a game. Yeah, as people can hear, I'm very hoarse. We had our UK Seahawkers 12 Talk watch party at O'Neill's Broad Street in Birmingham. Big shout out to them. If you went to the watch party, please give them a Google review. They deserve it because they were so accommodating for us. It's always nice when the UK Seahawkers private party upstairs is busy and the main bar downstairs.
A lot busier.
A lot busier. The turnout was immense. It was just absolutely amazing, mate. I couldn't have dreamt of anything better than that. Like we've got photos and videos that have been on our, we'll try and get them out on our social media. I'll put the group shot up like very shortly, but what an amazing night. How are you feeling this morning, Mitch?
This morning, it is now evening, by the way. I know you were up until 5 or 6.
How were you feeling this morning though when you woke up?
Well, I had to shoot off to hospital first thing, so I didn't really have any time to feel sorry for myself. I had to go and see my other half, who'd unfortunately spent the night in hospital. So everything kind of switched to that. But elated, I think. Going to bed, I wasn't sure I was going to sleep myself. I probably got 2 hours before I was awake and scrolling reels and catching all the interviews and little highlight reels and montages. And it seemed like every other reel was Seahawks related, which was unbelievable because we just don't get any coverage in media in comparison to other teams. So it seems like we get a 24-hour window of love and then gone again. But yeah, I think this morning I kind of look back on the evening and it's a bit surreal because I'm almost as pleased that we won the Super Bowl as I am for the event we put on.
It was mega.
It was so good.
So happy. Like the turnout, the people that came, obviously the people that I chatted to, some people, hopefully some people are watching this in the comments. Like if I didn't get a chance to talk to you or I didn't know your name, I'm really sorry. I was answering multiple messages from multiple people. But it was amazing. The people that sort of came just due to a post I put on Reddit and they had no idea about the UK Seahawkers, people that saw it from the Facebook group. Hopefully we got some more sign-ups for UK Seahawkers as well. Like it's just amazing, mate. I can't get over how good it was. Do you know what? Whilst we're at it, if you are a new member, welcome, or a returning member, thank you very much. Please feel free, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're growing exponentially. We were battling to get to 500 and now we're at like 708. I don't know what happened. I'll tell you what happened. The Super Bowl and the fact we're world champions happened. And yeah,
it did happen. And how glorious was it? And how dominant was it? I know we're going to go into it, but how dominant was it? We were boot to throat for most of the game.
It's exactly what we've been asking for all season. It was just like foot to throat football. Like Drake May came out in one of his like presses and said, "I've never faced a defense like it," and it was just they were everywhere. Like he must be he's going to have PTSD from this game, from the amount of times that he had pressure in his face
or grass.
Oh, great! I mean, he just had like Murphy barreling down on him, like Derek Hall. What a game from Derek Hall. Riley Mills spent the whole season injured, came into play, and what I showed my wife the replay, and I just showed him his sack, and she went, "Is that legal?" I was like, "Oh, it's very legal." I was like, he just marched that man back. It was amazing, and Derek Hall just what a game. What a guy. I think we said on the Rob Staten pod, like if I was Mike McDonald, I would have Derek Hall lined up across from Will Campbell pretty much every single snap, because the arm length, you saw it in his first sack. He just long armed him, drove him back, and yeah, I think this is where the draft commentary about his short arms is really going to start coming out again now.
But we hear it every year, don't we? Oh, yeah. There's 7 tackles in this class that can go in the first 2 rounds, and there's a few with short arms that are going to need to shift inside. And then some people say, "Oh no, it depends on the system." I'm not being funny. It doesn't depend on the system a lot of the time. It's whoever you're matched up against. Occasionally, will just have the wood on you, and that's exactly how it was last night.
Yeah, and it was kind of pointless us having seats around the table, because we spent most of our night stood up just cheering for the multiple events. Like the highlights were definitely from like the defense. I mean, I've not even had a chance to get all the stats and everything together, because I walked through the door at 4 after leaving Birmingham at 12 and dropping off Bumbag Mark, which is now his nickname.
Bumbag
Mark.
BBM.
Oh God. For anyone like who is questioning why there was a bum bag involved, we'll get to that, because it's some amazing news. The 12s that were at that party dug deep and did something amazing. But yeah, when people were asking me, "Oh yeah, where'd you come from?" All that stuff. I said, "Oh, I drove me and my friend up here from Essex," and they were like, "Oh wow, which one's your friend?" I was like, "You know, the one who's doing the raffle tickets." And I think pretty much everyone said to me, "Oh, Bumbag Mark." I was like, "Yeah, Bumbag Mark. That's it now. I'm going to change his name in my phone to Bumbag Mark." But yeah, it was so good, just so good. And I can't put into words. Do you know what? I don't think we have to put it into words, because I am looking at the number of comments that have come in, and I think the viewers can put it into words better than we can. Do you want to pull up some of these comments?
I actually can't. I think the way I've come into our StreamYard client has given me the wrong level of access, so I actually have 0 power.
Don't worry, I'll do it.
Okay.
Gordon, hey, what's up, world champs? And then Bryce, the Hawk's Eye, L12s were world champions, and everyone now knows the power of the dark side. Rich come in with the best victory Monday of them all. World champs. Correction, Gordon, 2-time world champs, baby.
2-time.
Jonas, SP champs, lads. Lauren, see, I'm not doing another Seahawks chant. That's the reason I'm like this. Honestly, like even though I had a microphone, I'm like this, like calling the raffle, just saying thanks to everyone. I want to say a massive thanks to everyone who contributed to the raffle as well. So Chris Sprood, absolute legend. Danny Wood, I don't know if he's watching this, for helping us with all our flyers as well. Mitch, obviously you chipped in. We had our show sponsors, Flying V, who gave us some hats as well. We had like Seamus, loads of UK Seahawkers brought stuff, and then 5-Star Imports with the official Super Bowl program, which we gave away. This isn't it. I bought my own, but it was just. I wasn't taking anything from those guys. They were.
You make twice as much money for charity if you sell it twice.
It's not happening. I'm framing that. Speaking of charity, I can't like get past it. So we're going to do this now. Okay, so we can show everyone what's happened. I should have really prepped this. You can tell I was on the hop. So obviously we're the UK Seahawkers official podcast, and after last night, we're even prouder than we were before. And now, if you want to sign up, you can do it with that QR code right there. If you're not a UK Seahawker, scan that. It'll take you straight to the PayPal link. £12. Put your name and address in the comments. Do it for friends and family, and you will join the UK Seahawkers. And we now know that all the goodies are going to be coming soon. Oh, I also have a bit of news about the next meetup. So keep, I believe it's the 9th of May, free in your diary, because Mitch, we're headed to the Dean's Gate in Manchester. I'm going to get my parka. I'm going to grow my hair a bit of a bowl on me. No, I can't. I'm from that area and I despise Oasis. But anyway, if you want to join, by all means, feel free. And you could join us and all of these plus more at one of our watch parties. Look at that. That was an amazing turnout. I did not in my wildest dreams think we'd have that many people.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Honestly, the group of people as well, it wasn't just the quantity of them, it was the quality. We had so many established, esteemed members of the UK Seahawkers, including the Prez and Secretary, and we had a great representation of them. We had people from the podcast, people who had seen our post on Facebook and read it, as you say, and people who just popped into the bar downstairs and we wrangled them upstairs. It was such a mix, but everyone sort of blended perfectly and shared that same passion and enjoyed the night, and everyone was raucous. It was such an amazing group of people, as displayed.
Yeah. Do you know what I particularly enjoyed? Actually meeting members of our Discord community face to face.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Like talking to people, and it's bad when you only know them by username. So I had to ask people. I was like, "What's your real name?" So I now know them, and I'm so glad they're part of this community. But as we said, we held a raffle, and that raffle came in big. All of these people, we had a raffle. Chris as well did Super Bowl squares. Obviously, some money went to the winners, but other money came to the charity. And we raised for the Robin Cancer Trust, our partnered charity, the last year's goodies, a whopping £695. And that was all on the 12s that were there. It was absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely, I've been beaming since I got home. £695. So I'm going to be contacting the RCT to say, I've got all this money. How can I give it to you? Either I go and see Toby, who's the chairman, or we do a check handout. I don't know how it works. I'm still gobsmacked.
I mean, the man runs around the country wearing a ball bag. There's got to be some kind of elaborate way to hand over a check.
Oh my God, I'm going to message Toby, Tubbs as I call him, and I'm just going to say, look, I want to hand you a check whilst you're dressed as a ball bag.
I mean, like I say, he ran along Hadrian's Wall dressed in a ball bag. Turning up to be given a check is nothing in comparison.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, amazing. I mean, let's get on to talking about the game, because I had to rewatch the highlights. I didn't even make my wife endure it. She was fine with it, and she was asking me questions, which was really nice. Before this game started, obviously I went on the UK Patriots podcast. Lovely chaps, and they asked me for a score prediction, and I basically got laughed at. And I've given the score prediction twice, and that score prediction was 31-13. We were 2 points off. Utter dominance. Mitch, but what was your at what point in the game did you think we've got this? There's no.
Before I answer that, I just want to say that I know that I'm known as Mystic Mitch on this podcast, but I'd like the rest of the chat to acknowledge that this next to me is Josh Stradamus. So that is our new pair of handles. I think I was extremely confident at halftime, holding them at arm's length. Both defenses looked great first half, I have to say that. And they stopped us from punching the ball in for a touchdown, but they didn't stop us getting in kicking range consistently. And when you are getting people off the field after 3 downs repeatedly, and that their drives are going for so few yards, I think they only had 70 yards in the first half, didn't they? They had 5 possessions, 6 possessions, 70 yards or something in the first half, and no points. If you're doing that consistently, and you are yourself consistently getting in kicking range and having the chance to score a touchdown, the game will roll away from a team, and they'll have to take some chances. They have to take some risks and take some chances. So I felt like if they didn't get a good amount of points in the third quarter, desperation kicks in, and that's where you get your turnover opportunities. And I think we kind of saw that go that way, albeit that brilliant pass from Drake May to Hollins in the back corner, just slightly out of reach of Tariq Woolen. That was an excellent pass. But he's taking that on out of desperation. Yeah. So it really can go either way. So yeah, I think in answer to your question, when did I feel like we had it iced? Probably the Nwosu return.
Yeah.
To the house for 6.
Do you know what my moment was? That you were talking about, like it was the danger of some of Drake May's passes because it was desperation time. It was the Julian Love interception.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that ball get thrown, I was like, Drake May is throwing under so much duress. He's just huzzing balls at the field now. And that was, I had to replay it, and I stood there like a telecaster showing my wife like why it was a pick and what he did wrong. I said, like, where he just threw it, and it wasn't thrown into the path of the runner. It was just thrown into the middle where he thought like the receiver was going to be. I thought, that's it. It's desperation time for him now. And one other thing that I don't know if people caught this, the commentators, I think Chris Collinsworth was saying how Drake May was getting into a rhythm, how, he's been finding some fantastic targets, making some great throws. And he literally said, yeah, let's see what he does here. And the next thing he does is, after waxing lyrical about him, throws that pick, and Collinsworth just goes, I've got nothing for you. Like, I've just given Drake May the kiss of death. And yeah, that's what happens. When all you do is focus on Patrick Mahomes and shining him, then you forget how the QBs tend to play. But yeah, that was it for me. I mean, one comment that came in here. There you go. Barnyard TD made me feel relaxed.
I need to talk about that TD, and not from an analytical standpoint. I have to tell a tale to the viewers. I shamefully missed the touchdown for Mitch's boy AJ Barnett in the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's true. I was stood on Broad Street, nervous, sucking on a vape pen, watching the game through the window, and the snap that I was watching through the window was that touchdown. I was stood all on my own in Broad Street. It must have been about 3 o'clock in the morning, looking through a window, sucking a vape pen like a crack addict. And and when that ball was caught and that touchdown was scored, I roared. No one in Birmingham has ever shouted so loud in the middle of the town. I scared the life out of 2 paramedics that were carting off some paralytic, punter from some bar. I scared the life out of them. And there were 2 people walking behind me on the pavement. And honestly, they jumped out of their skin. And the next thing, of course, was I went to run up the stairs to the event room, and then realized I've got a strained calf, and stairs don't happen quickly with a strained calf. So I was just hobbling up these stairs just to get some of the atmosphere. So that was my experience of AJ Barner's touchdown.
Oh, did
and
you miss
it's
me
going to be
doing the barn
memorable forever.
dance?
I
As soon
did.
as it happened, I
did.
just got up and did the barn dance. I couldn't help myself. It was like it just took over me. That was just amazing. The route he ran as well. So he showed motion from left to right, and as soon as no one moved, obvious zone coverage, and he just picked a beautiful route, weaved in between two of their defenders. I think it was a safety and a cornerback. The cornerback, I think, was on. I think it might have been Shaheed, and he was just free in that end zone. It was, when things go in slow motion, when that ball got thrown and I saw Barner's route, I was like, and it happened. I was over the
history
moon.
repeating with that as well. He's shown that a lot. And I think when you look at his stat sheet for the game, it was four targets, 4 catches, and 54.
I love this from Max. He's like a vaping Quasimodo shouting Barner.
Highly accurate, I got to say.
So this is coming from sort of from Dogzilla Monster, and this is a talking point here. Spoon deserved MVP consideration too, and I know there's other conversations in here about it. Now, for me, I can see why K9 got it. When I watched the replay, I didn't realize how good he actually played during that game. One of the runs he got, where he ended up getting barreled over sort of the first down, he made himself so skinny just to get through the gap that was made. It was unreal. I mean, Spoon could have been with a shout. I thought special teams were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
Dixon's punting, fantastic. The gunners on that punt team, brilliant. I'm pretty sure was it Velas Jones Jr. who actually managed to stop it from going in the end zone and put it on the 1 yard line. Myers, automatic. Would that have been the first time a kicker got MVP? Because he was definitely up there for me. Derek Hall, Byron Murphy, like the team just came to play, and it was so good. And Dogzilla Monster, Dixon didn't come from a rugby background. He came from an Aussie leagues like football, isn't it? The weird, I don't know. I've tried to watch it a couple of times, and I just can't get my head around the fact that you can kick it over. Yeah, it's weird. They bounce a ball and run as well. I can't get my head around it. I'm pretty sure in Australia one day, there we go. Aussie rules football. Yeah, don't get it.
I don't get it either, but
I'll stick to rugby and American football.
What I will say about Aussie rules football is thank you for Michael Dixon. That's what I have to say.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable. I think when you look at the impact of special teams in that game, we may not have seen an electric kick return, punt return, or anything else, but we saw consistency. There were safe hands, smart decisions. The decisions on safe catches and when to actually run were calculated and crisp. And I think you have to look at the fact that the hands team had to go out there for the onside kick as well. Alani didn't fluff his lines there. Every way you look at special. Oh, and I'll give you one other reason why special teams was unbelievable on the night. Our gunners and their lane discipline while chasing down kicks was phenomenal. There was only one return for the Patriots, who are extremely dangerous with them as well, by the way. There was only one kick return that I thought they overachieved on. Everything else was just wrapped up. It was brilliant.
So, just very quickly, the hat you're wearing right now was a raffle prize.
And, no. Have I been outed?
You've been rumbled. Scotty's watching on X, and he just said, "Nice hat, Mitch." Don't worry, Scotty. You will get it. I'm going to make sure he sends it.
I know we're on to the game now rather than the watch party, but I will clear this up. So, on the night, I bought 7 strips of tickets. 3 for my friend John, whose birthday it was. 2 for Scott Anderson, who couldn't be there on the night but wanted to have some skin in the game for the raffle, and 2 for myself, so 7 strips. I won the raffle 4 times on my own strips. It wasn't even Scotty's strips that won, but because it was embarrassing that I kept going up for our own charity raffle, I was about to say, don't worry, because I'd already gone up and received a prize. So I thought, no, put that back in. And then I realized Scott's giving me money for a ticket. He's going to be furious if I just don't get him a prize. So I came over to you and I was like, I kind of do have to get something for Scott. So I picked this hat. And then I went to put my Eamon Mori shirt on today and I was like, this is good. This is really good.
You now see why I have a collection of different styles of hats.
Yeah, I have to get this hat as well. This will be, Scott, if you're watching, this will be your hat. I'm just putting some flavor into it with my brow and it will be yours.
There you go. He's shaping it for your big Swede as well.
Yeah.
Job done. Yeah. Just on that, like, so 2 people that were there. Martin, what a party, best night ever. Hawkskull, real name Stu. I counted over 50 of us in there. Yeah, how amazing. Anyway, yeah, the game. So, I mean, offensively, K9 was the resounding MVP from that, but Sam Darnold, like, for everything that's been said about him and everyone thinking he was going to crack, I think he looked so cool, calm, and collected. Even when he got that sack, it just didn't phase him. Nothing is phasing him at the moment, and that is going to be enough to shut up anyone who has said something about Sam Darnold. Surely.
Okay, well, tell me what do they say about Sam Darnold? What has been the big criticism? Give me, and I've got a stat for you. So
okay, so. Does Sam Darnold still see ghosts? Can he do what he did with the Vikings? Does he buckle under pressure? He's never been in this type of environment before. He's never had to go into a Super Bowl or a big match like this. You know, is he accurate enough to make some of the throws that might be asked of him against this secondary, which is just Gonzalez? Let's face it.
And turnovers. Please say turnovers, so it leads me.
Yeah, and turnovers as well.
Oh, I'm glad you said turnovers. So Sam Darnold became the first QB in the Super Bowl era to navigate the entirety of the playoffs without committing a turnover. There you go. So there's people that say that he can't do it in the postseason and that, he gets the jitters and sees ghosts and can't perform, when it really matters at the business end of the season. He can. Yeah. And he's ours. There you go.
I love this. New walk-on song for Sam at Lumen next season. Metallica's Enter Sandman. I'm pretty sure, don't Virginia Tech have Enter Sandman? Yeah, I know. Oh, and also, Mitch, with regards hats, my wife would like to say, please feel free to take some of my husband's hats, although I might still want myself. Seahawks fan in the making. And she's right next door as well, so she can hear everything twice. Although I don't think they would fit your head, which is a shame.
It is. I need to give another anecdote for the evening as well. It's another raffle anecdote. I'm sorry for everyone that wants to hear us talk about the Super Bowl. When I entered the bar, there was a man called Steve. And I got my bag of donated items. There was a hat, there was a hoodie, there was a bunch of other things. The hat that I had in my bag, he liked the look of and picked it up and put it on his head. And he said he has trouble finding a hat that fits him. Now, I have a really big head. So I presented him a wonderful opportunity to get a hat. But I told him, unfortunately, he'd have to buy a bunch of raffle tickets to have a shot at getting said hat. Lo and behold, whose ticket came up and won that exact hat?
Yeah.
Steve. And this was before kickoff. And at that point, I thought to myself, if that's how lucky Steve gets with the perfect hat on his raffle ticket, I know that we're winning the Super Bowl. It was too perfect for the whole evening, not to just be scripted.
Some of these comments are coming in, and we have to talk about this because I didn't realize one thing, right? So first of all, Gordon, Bad Bunny traveled 124 yards, and the Patriots only did 79. And your lovely other half, Cara, has come in hang on. Can we discuss the fact the streaker made more yards than the Pats did?
Well, there's a fun thing here. The streaker did make more yards than the Pats, but also if you go back a couple of games, I think what was the stat for Brock Purdy? He'd run more yards than the entire team, sideways and backwards, running away from the pass rush. Than that was an insane stat as well. We've held some teams to some embarrassing stats, haven't we, in this playoff run?
There you go, yeah. And then my wife's just come in and said that the streaker was her favourite player. She's yet to learn the depth of our love for this roster. Can we let's move on to sort of Mike McDonald as well. This is something that last night, whilst I was still lying awake in my bed, full of adrenaline, updating all the social medias, doing all that stuff, I kept going back to our conversation. There's been a 3-year rebuild, and how much we loved Mike McDonald, and we've spoken about him at length. This man is, in year 2, has created a brand new culture, a brand new team, a team that is legitimately feared now, I think. How lucky are we to have a man like Mike McDonald?
Yeah, it feels incredibly well sort of matched. I think when you look at where our franchise was and what it was known for and everything, and what he's come and installed in his own way. And it's not to say he came in and just managed to mimic the past. He's come in and done it his own way, but he's got us weirdly back to what we've always been, which is a proud defense with a strong running game that play with high effort and high character. That's what we've always been, but it's a reimagined version of it. And I think that's exactly what it had to be in order to work. And I don't think I really recognized before he came in that was how we do it. But lo and behold, hindsight, that was what we should always have been looking for.
And that we can thank John Schneider for that.
Yeah.
Because if John hadn't stuck to his guns and said, I want defense, I'm going to get a defensive mastermind as my head coach, who knows what we could have had.
Yeah.
And speaking of what we do have, let's speak about Adam Durde as well. The first non-US national coach to win a Super Bowl.
It's a staggering thing, isn't it? It's a staggering thing. I'm not sure if I'm more surprised. In fact, I am surprised that it's never happened. Genuinely surprised that it's never happened.
It is. Yeah. In his interview as well, where he said it all started in 1985 with his mum buying the Chicago Bears Super Bowl win on VHS. And Leslie Frazier was in that team. And now he coaches with him. What a story. I just think the way this year, I think year 1, the coaching team wasn't where we wanted it to be. That much was evident by, obviously, the late addition of Ryan Grubb and obviously all the turnover. But now Mike McDonald's got his hands all over this. His fingerprints are all over the identity of this coaching staff. And it looks like he's gonna be a head coach factory. I just have that vision now. Clint Kubiak, he's announced that he's going to be the head coach of the Raiders. So good luck. Fair play to him. He's gone from winning a Super Bowl with the Seahawks to go into a team who has the first pick in the draft. So maybe he can turn it around. You never know.
I quite like the idea of hearing all about the Mike McDonald coaching tree. We hear about McVay and Shanahan and lots of the other coaches, head coaches. They have this sort of family tree of head coaches that have worked under them. But I can't think of a better role model than Mike McDonald to just father many coaching children across the next 15, 20 years or even more, because he's so young. So I'd love to see Actually, I don't know. I don't think I'd love to see it. I want it to be just us that have this kind of defense. I always don't want all these little sprouts of good defenses popping up just because Mike McDonald, waved his wand and coached, like that. But
the worst thing for me is obviously now there's going to be a hunt for an offensive coordinator. That's a conversation we'll have to have in a future pod. But when the next coaching cycle comes up, which will be next season, Durday is going to be at the top of some people's lists, knowing how closely he's worked with Mike McDonald as a defensive coordinator, learning from what Mike does. He's then going to be able to take this defense, put his own spin on it, and take it to another team. And by God, if it's in the NFC West, I will lose my stuff. Try not to swear. We're a clean pod. I'm trying not to swear.
Your stool.
Lose my stool. Because we came completely unprepared with hardly any stats. Luckily, the fantastic members of our Discord and the people that watch this religiously have come up with some. If you're watching and you've got any stats that you want us to read out, please do. This is the most unprepared we've probably been for a pod, but that's because of the amount of preparation that we put into that watch party and the energy expelled. I had to do the graphics for this, lastminute.com, and but Gord has come up with an amazing one. I read that the Seahawks recorded more sacks in 2 games at Levi's this season than the 49ers' entire season of home games.
That is nice.
Confirmed by Jonas. Wow. And I don't know if it's me being apathetic, but it's not. Whenever I look at this team, that's not the first thing I go to. The amount of pressure that we put on the opposing teams with our sacks. Like I'd love to know what our sack total was for the regular and postseason, and where they came from.
That is definitely one for the chat.
There we go. I'll get it in. But yeah,
I'd like to point out that another stat about the Levi's Stadium. We've won more Super Bowls in Santa Clara than the 49ers have won Super Bowls overall in the last 21 years. So that feels good. Everyone's now seen the little clip of us in the home dressing room, smoking cigars, partying, popping bottles, not just in their stadium, in their home dressing room.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think it can be more painful than that. Imagine if it was the home dressing room at Lumen watching the 49ers lift one for the first time in 21 years. Ugh.
Misfit 4777 has got saying we've also won more road games in Levi Stadium than any other team. I love that stat. So anyone who's joining us who may not have watched the pod properly will know that throughout the course of this season, I've had a bee in my bonnet about 2 players on the Seahawks. But I'm not going to be negative about one of them, even though there is something negative to say. I'll wait. However, Jonas, who is constantly on my case about stuff like this, has asked, do we keep the Super Bowl MVP now, Josh? So when we had the tandem of Charbonnet and Walker, I love Charbonnet as a running back because he does the job that he's asked. Hits the gaps. He's an absolute machine as well. It's pure power with that bit of pace, which I love. And K9 has been so inconsistent through the season that I've been trying to wrap my head around what he brings to the Seahawks. Because the loss of yardage it's so ineffective, and it sort of sets everything backwards for us. But based on his playoff performances and the now Super Bowl MVP and the money we have, I think he's going to get re-signed.
Yeah, we found out a lot. Yeah, we found out a lot about Ken this year, didn't we? There was question marks over Ken about his durability and fitness in general, because he'd never made it all the way through the regular season before without getting injured. Well, he's ticked that box. We'd never really seen him in playoff football at the end of the year for that reason. Even if we had got to, playoff after playoff during his rookie deal, he wouldn't have been fit for it. So we've now seen him in make or break time when, mistakes send you home. So we've seen that. And we've also seen him do Charbonnet's snaps as well as his own. He's had to be more versatile. He's had to be more durable. And he's had to have ice in his veins in the playoffs, as all veterans need to show, when it's, mistake and go home. So that's increased the number he'll get paid this offseason, that's for sure. And I think with Charbonnet's injury, as you just mentioned there, if Charbonnet's not looking like he's going to be fit for the beginning of the season, if he's going to miss any time or is going to be out for OTAs and camp, it makes all the sense in the world to give Ken a deal. However, I don't think a John Schneider special prove it deal makes any sense now, because he's a Super Bowl winning running back with a Super Bowl MVP medal. I don't know what's left to prove at that point. So I think Ken's answered a lot of questions and a lot of doubters, and deserves the payday he's going to get. But he is restricted free agent, so we get first refusal.
Exactly. So there's a lot of people that have come in and have basically just said the exact same thing. So Hawkskull, postseason K9 is possibly the best in the game. Keep the guy healthy and he's golden. I think that's where you and I are obviously going to talk about this in our sort of pre-draft episodes, but we're definitely going to be looking for another running back. I think that can fill that Charbonnet role. If Charbonnet's going to be out, because I think they like the hammer and the sickle tandem to keep K9 fresh. I think Halani did fantastically when he's been called upon. He's not quite the running threat, but he's a great receiving threat. So basically, yes. Oh, and Jonas, K9 has never fumbled in his NFL career. That is valuable. Another question was this from Michael. J-My is the most expensive kicker in the league. Keep or kick? I like the pun.
I can answer this one. It depends whether it's an odd or an even year. How about that?
Well, it's also it's been noted that he's in the last year of his contract next year as well, so we keep him. I think Jonas put in there as well. Like, imagine if we had a shaky kicker in that Super Bowl, one that wasn't reliable, that we couldn't, just rely upon to hit those threes all the time. Keeping the scoreboard ticking over is so valuable, and I think J-My's been fantastic at it.
I'll say this: I think it's is it Joey Lane, the guy that cooks the books for the Seahawks with the deals and weaves his cap magic. I think it's an ideal time to start restructuring contracts this season, because we are now a contender. I mean, you have to be as a defending world champion, right? But you are a contender. You're seen as a team that if a veteran wants to add a Super Bowl ring to their legacy and their record in the league, then you have to sign with one of the top 4, top 5 teams, and we are now that. If not, probably the team to beat. So when it comes to restructuring contracts and trying to get cap numbers down, but giving more years and restructuring bonuses, there is never going to be a better time for Joey Lane to start getting creative with our veterans and players like J-My in order to lower that number next year, but then push more money into the future for the player at a void year, get numbers down. So I think J-My might be a really good candidate to ease the cap and secure his services going forward.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to end your career on a contender, don't you? Quite happily. There was one thing here, Rich Bennett has come in, and he's on the exact same wavelength as me. Mafe and Woolen leave and cash in, which I'd be happy with. And we'll do a whole pod on this because there's a lot to be said, I think. And then Walker may resign, but for big money. There's talk about the franchise tag. So Jonas, RB franchise tag is 14.5 million. That's Jonathan Taylor money. You pay him that.
Yeah. Sorry, Jonas. How many Super Bowls has Jonathan Taylor won? Just trying.
Quick mental maths there. I like it. Didn't need any fingers. Yeah, but I think like my only apprehension with that is knowing his injury history and the fact that he wouldn't be the workhorse, like, you know, the bell cow back, because you'd have to split his carries to keep him healthy. Do you want to pay him that much? Or do you come to an agreement that you will take 60% of the snaps, but someone else is going to take 40? As a result, we're not going to pay you this much. We'll give you this, but we'll give you some incentives laced into it as well. That's where it could go.
Well, who's our OC next year?
Well, I think, yeah,
that's a factor too. I think it's if Ken Walker is an absolute belting fit for the OC that comes in next year, then Ken absolutely can stay on the kind of money that he's expecting to make. If he's an awkward fit, but they think it might work, and he's a Super Bowl winning running back, and then okay, well maybe it fits, maybe it doesn't. What's our limit on how much we can pay him for someone who's not a great scheme fit? If not, who's in free agency? Who's in the draft? What's in reach? Those conversations won't happen if he's a great fit for whoever comes in as OC, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Apologies. I don't know if it's Brian or Brian E. Either way, we're cycling back to where running backs are central to offensive schemes. For that reason alone, we ought to keep who we've got. It'd matter a lot less if we were 70% passing. And at the start of the season, we were. And then I think it got to a point where like, no, we've got the players now where we can actually have the running game. And as it was mentioned in the comments as well, Kenny McIntosh will be back fit next season. I completely forgot about one of my favourite unsung players in this team. And yeah, just there's so much stuff we can talk about with this. You know, we haven't actually covered a lot in the game. What I'm loving at the moment is the same thing that we have with our Discord community. Everyone in the comments talking amongst themselves, which I absolutely love. If you're not a member of the Discord, by all means, you can join. There's a link down there, and you can come and join us and 12s from all over the world talking up Seahawks, because that's what we do, and we absolutely love the community that we facilitated. I said this to Danny earlier when he thanked us for building the community. We didn't. We facilitated it. You guys have built that community, and we're so proud of it. You guys are amazing. It's one thing that I think we have that sort of sets us apart. Very proud of that. Yeah, Mitch, I don't know what we need. We're going to have to do like a proper breakdown. I'm too emotional and tired and overjoyed
there's a couple of comments I really want to get to, but there's so much gold in that chat today. There's a comment from I think it was Richard Bennett that I really wanted to make sure we pulled up. Trying to find it now. I can't put it up on screen, which is really annoying. Oh, that's annoying. Give JSN a lifetime contract now. That might save some cap pain down the line if he signs a 10-year deal, but I'm pretty sure he likes signing bonuses. So I doubt he'd sign anything longer than 3 or 4 personally. But I do agree that a preemptive extension on JSN may be a very, very wise decision.
It allows you to spread out the cap as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you get
and there's we got another comment from Max as well about, will Bradford get any better? I can tell you we won't get any worse.
There you go. I mean, to be honest, like I spent a lot of time focusing on him in that game just to see, because I genuinely thought if I was the Patriots, I'd have Milton Williams one-on-one with Bradford all the time. And he didn't do too much wrong. There was nothing glaring that, you know, springs to mind about Bradford's game. But does that now mean we'll keep him next season and we'll have to have the exact same conversations?
Yeah. I can't. look at it this way, right? We won a Super Bowl in spite of Bradford. Now, next year, teams are going to study, how do you beat the Seahawks? Our divisional rivals is going to look at those games. How do you beat the Seahawks? There's going to be an awful lot of attention on certain areas. If Woolen goes and we replace better, and if Bradford goes and we replace with better, whether it be scheme fit or experience or just, and whatever metric you think that they're a better player, the gaps, not the gaps, the weak spots in this roster are going to just fall away.
Yeah.
So, I do think there's opportunity to improve this roster, and that's weird to say because we just dominated the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously we'll do a pod on the weak spots that need to be improved. There's some, what I'm liking now is the depth, and Bryce put something in here. Obviously, we mentioned him before. Mills might be the biggest acquisition for the 2026 team. The absolute power of that man to walk back that left guard was unreal. And when you think that is going to preserve Leonard Williams because you can have him in the rotation, you'll have two young interior defensive linemen in Mills and Murphy who can keep going for a few years. The foundational building blocks of this team that have been put in place, it can't be understated how well this roster's been constructed. With the right amount of experience, when you bring in people like D-Law, Big Cat, and then on the offense, you've got people like Eric Sauber, who has been another unsung hero. You've got Cooper Kupp, Sam Darnold to an extent as well, has been in the league 8 years now. He's a vet, and he's just a cool head. And then you look at the youth that's been drafted. The drafts, I think last year was a bit... Mike Mack gave John a list of what he wanted and didn't fulfill all, but got the majority this year. The draft just gone. I think that was a Mike Mack draft. And next year, or the one coming, Mitch, you've got some work to do. When baby Teddy is born, you can be holding him in one arm and doing all your draft reviews with the other.
Highly likely, actually, that is exactly what's going to happen. That Teddy is going to be buried in spreadsheets with Daddy late at night when he's, he thinks it's morning and it's not. Well, it is morning, but it's not time for him to get up. That is going to happen. He's going to know more about the draft class than most people. I'm going to make sure of it. But I will just say on your comment there about the way that we picked players in last year's draft, I think what we really capitalized on last year was just value for our picks. We took Torrey Horton way, way below where his talent should have gone. We took Riley Mills really far below where his talent should have gone. We took Milrow as well at a position where it represented enormous value. The only time we really went out and took players that were desirable for just immediately adding something to this roster that was required were our two first picks for me. It was Gray Zabel, obvious need, go and get it. Doesn't matter what the perceived value is, go and get that player. And Nicky Mamori will be moved up in the second to pick him up before he fell to someone else. I think both of those guys there was a clear plan for, and it's worked magnificently. Outside of that, I think we just picked up great value. And let's not forget, Torrey Horton he only played a quarter of the season for us and had 5 touchdowns. That wasn't on our roster. That player that exploded onto the scene was not in our in any of our playoff games, was not there at crunch time in our season when we were playing those games against the Rams and the Niners at the end of the regular season. He was not there. So, that draft class will have enormous impact for the next 5 years, just as Bryce suggested there with Mills. I think you can repeat the exact same statement he made about Zabel, about Mills, about Imamori. There's a huge amount there.
Yeah, I think the wheeling dealing, like you said, the quality we've got at the positions where we drafted, because people were undervalued or overlooked due to injury or anything, was fantastic. I'm now excited to see exactly what happens. I mean, there's a lot of comments coming in when you think about, we're talking about Horton. Arroyo, hopefully we'll get more usage next year as well. Year 2, he was brought in to be that big tight end / X receiver, and he's an absolute weapon. Good comment came in there about fullbacks and if the new OC is going to need a fullback. And are we worried because of Oots' neck injury? Now, as someone who has suffered a pretty catastrophic neck injury, I'll tell you, if it is serious, then that'll be something they'll have to take a look at. But again, if they want a fullback, I think when you see how effective our run game's been with Oots in, I think that's something that Mike Mack will want to stick with. Whoever becomes the OC, he'll say, this is what it goes for. We go with a fullback. We give more space to our players like K9 if he resigns, and we let them run the ball. Love it. I love it. Like, I can't stop smiling. I'm going to be smiling for a long, long time. And now we get to have a little break from podcasting. Maybe a week, 2 weeks. You're just moving house, mate. I'll let you get settled in. Yeah. I need to rest my voice.
I'm sure Cara. I give it about 10 seconds till Cara puts a comment in there saying, "Thanks, Josh."
You're very welcome, Cara.
Boxes will get unpacked and things will be put away, and flat pack furniture will be built.
You're lucky man. Lucky man. I just want to say thank you to everyone before we sign off. This has been, for us as a pod, an amazing season. Thank you to everyone who has liked, subscribed, interacted with us on social media, through our Discord, just on these. Like, if you join the Discord and you come and chat along with the watch parties, that is amazing. If you have been kind enough to buy me and Mitch a beer, which we drunk some of last night, thank you for buying me a coffee. There's a link down there. By all means, feel free. We've got another UK Seahawkers meet up in Manchester later on this year. It's just been amazing. I'm so proud of everything on this, Mitch. Thank you so much for being my podcasting partner in crime.
No, likewise, mate. It's been an absolute joy. Do you know what's really cool? That the community is obviously a great thing that's been built from me and you wanting to podcast and cover our team. But what a reward for all the effort that goes into this, for our team to actually, meet our effort. I am fully joking. I'm aware that running a football team and playing 17 games plus two playoffs and a Super Bowl is more effort than we put in. But you take my point. I think the team have done us a big favor this year by giving us unbelievable games to cover and great moments to talk about, on our show and in our Discord and in our watch parties. When they don't happen, they don't happen.
You've got baby naming going on in the comments now as well. I don't know if we should just stick this out for a little bit longer just to see what else comes in. But
we might get some good ones. Okay, everyone in the comments, convince Cara that the name of the baby is changing to your favorite Seahawks player. Go. It's going to be Derek or Ken, isn't it?
Mate, that'd be brilliant. Derek Mitchell.
Yeah.
Derek Kenneth Mitchell.
Good Lord. This could go so wrong.
Right, this is brilliant.
Cara's having none of it. Don't worry.
It's all right. Well, thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in. I don't want to just blow our own trumpets for too much longer because I'm absolutely shattered. And I think this has just been a hell of a season. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed representing the UK Seahawk community as well, being the official podcast of the UK Seahawkers. If you're not a member, go and join up. I will be putting in the new membership flyer on our social media, so you can just scan the QR code. £12 per year is nothing. And then you get to come and join us for social events as well. Join our Discord. Follow our social medias. It's at 12 Talk on pretty much everything. If you are watching this on YouTube, hit like, help the algorithm, subscribe, share us with your mates. That's the biggest way we can grow. And we just appreciate everything that you guys do for us, because we wouldn't be here if you guys weren't watching and listening. So for the last time for this season, until we come back with our pre-draft stuff and roster talk, are we going to do it in tandem, Mitch?
Well, I know we're not, but I'll say yes.
Right. Say it with me. Say it loud. Say it proud. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for tuning in again. We're world champs. We're Super Bowl champs. 2-time world champions. No one's taking that away from us. We will be back in a couple of weeks. We'll still be active in the Discord. We'll still be putting stuff on social media. You can still talk to us wherever. Feel free to message us, comment, whatever. From me, Josh Stradamus. From him, Mystic Mitch. I want to say thank you so much. And ready, Mitch, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. I think we did it. Oh my God. See you later, everyone.